First Carolina West call to the bullpen today for the Bears. Brings in Michael Allen. Righty, Mr. Reliable for these LR Bears. Faces 2, 3, and 4 in the Coker lineup. Griffer, Vining, and Hannah. So Lanham's day is done. His official line scores. Griffer chops the first pitch fouled on the third base line. 7 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 10 strikeouts, 1 walk in 96 pitches. It's about as good as it gets from a starting pitcher. He was efficient. He attacked guys early in counts and is going to win his 4th game in 5 starts this year. Griffer flares this one to shallow center. Brett Urey, just in the game, comes on, and both he and Collette dive and can't grab it. It was right in between the both of them. Good effort from both of them. But a single for Griffer. First hit of the day for Griffer. This is now the 4th time through the lineup for Coker today. Ashby Vining, who is 1 for 3, steps in as Allen takes a look over. Allen's already his 10th appearance of the year. Junior from Manteo, NC. ERA is 1.35, 8 strikeouts and 6 2/3, allowed 1 earned run. Vining swings and misses the first pitch for strike 1. And swings and misses another beautiful off-speed pitch at the bottom of the zone. The junior's got the best of the freshmen so far. In this at-bat, it's 0-2. So just the one defensive change. Brett Urey in for Kuda. 1 and 2 on Vining. Everyone else the same. Collette in left, Bell in right, Yanest at third, Attiles at short, Laskowski at second, Perino at first, and Clarno behind the dish. Those are the guys that have carried the Bears to this 15-game winning streak. And still in this game up 11-0. Still another game to go. We got the final game of this series is 7 innings coming up about 25-30 minutes after we're done here in game 1. Allen delivers the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Slider right at the knees that Vining can't find. He's the first out of the 8th.
First baseman, Cody Hanna.
11th strikeout of the day for Bear pitching. First for Allen. Lanham had the first 10. So now Cody Hanna. Big lefty takes a big hack. Missed it for strike 1. Approaching 3 hours here in this game 1. Pitch just below the kneecaps for ball 1. Hanna 0 for 3 today. Does have a strikeout. Allen working, living at the bottom of the zone. Gets the call that time, 1 and 2. Allen pitched a perfect 7th inning on Wednesday in the win over Georgia College. He's one of the many pitchers in that marathon 13-inning game with Georgia Southwestern. This could be 2. Atiles, Laskowski, and they turn it. So Allen gives up the leadoff single, but he faces the minimum in the 8th. The 6-4-3 double play ends it. Bears looking for some more insurance here in the bottom of the 8th on the Bear Sports Network. Another Carolina West call to the bullpen for the Cobras of Coker. New arm is Garrett Dunn, sophomore from Ravenel, South Carolina, and it's a pinch hitter for the Bears. Jackson Brown, who got in the game last night. He'll pinch hit for David Bell here in the 8th. With the Bears up 11-0 on Coker. 2-1. Dunn will also play in the field as well. Made 3 starts last year, went 1-1. Pitched in 2 out of the 3 games in the Wingate series this year when the Bulldogs swept the Cobras. Dunn also pitched 2 1/3, got roughed up pretty good against Augusta for 3 earned. Took the loss in that one on Wednesday and starts his outing today with a walk to Jackson Brown. So Brown gets a walk in his pinch hit plate appearance. And now Yuri, who came in for Kuda defensively last inning, swings at the first pitch he sees and pops it up right side. Farrell, the second baseman, drifts in the wind and makes the grab right on the edge of the outfield turf. 1 out. And now Scott Metzler will pinch hit for Cole Laskowski. Metzler, who was the starting DH this season, has seen his at-bats go down a little bit, not really because of his own doing, but it's just other people that have asserted themselves in the offensive lineup. Saw him pitch in the game last night, continued to have a bit of a struggle in that realm. They want him, he's a low to mid-90s guy on the mound. Takes a big hack at that one, fouls it back. It's 1-2. He's got 250 on the year at the dish, 7 RBIs. Had some really bad luck early in the season as well when he had some extra base hits taken away from him by just really good defensive plays by opposing teams. Beats this one into the ground foul. Lefty on righty matchup here. Listing in center field still pretty shallow. Shot foul down the right field line as the crowd that actually stayed in the park. Wind pushed it back, but just another foul ball. Hear the national anthem getting played over at Moret Stadium, so that means men's lacrosse is about to face off. Bears trying to put the finishing touches on a Game 1 win here. Metzler fouls off another pitch, still 2-2. This will be pitch number 8 of the at-bat coming up. Glad you're along with us. Glad you're bearing with me as I score, keep, and broadcast at the same time. Not quite as sharp as I'm used to being. Full count pitch as Hopkins blocks it. So now it's a full count. Brown moves up on the wild pitch. So an RBI chance for Metzler here on a full count pitch. He's battled hard in this at-bat. Always has given the Bears strong at-bats, successful or not. Certainly makes other pitchers work. Same thing here as he tips the ball into the glove of Hopkins for the second out. So Kai Montano, who lit the place up last night, first pitch he saw, blasted his first career collegiate hit and first career home run off the top of the batting cages in straightaway left field. Pinch hits for Ynesta here. So Ynesta lifted Montano after the home run last night. Gets another chance here today. 1-1. Kai, one of those big energy guys in the dugout. Teammates love him. They were super excited last night when he went yard. Tried to go yard again there. Missed it. 1-2. Jackson Brown at second base. led things off in this inning with a walk. Looks like it's going to be Joey Cobb to finish things off on the mound for the Bears as Montano chops one up the middle. Griffer, the shortstop, cuts it off, has to hurry, and makes a really nice play to get Montano. And the side is retired. So a leadoff walk doesn't score. 3 outs left between the Bears and their program record 16th win in a row on the Bears Sports Network. Final Carolina West call to the bullpen of this game 1 for Lenoir-Rhyne brings the lefty Joey Cobb on. This is a guy that Coker has seen before quite a bit last year. Joey making his 6th appearance of the season, also made a couple of starts. ERA south of 4, 3.86 in 9 1/3. And a few defensive changes as well as Jeff Coate fires the first pitch foul down the right field line. Ryan Healy takes over at third base for Ynesta. Eric Ramirez comes in at second base. Jackson Brown stays in the game at right field. Cobb misses way outside with the second pitch, 1-1. Perfectly placed, down and in. 1-2. Cobb in that 13-inning marathon game pitched 2 innings, got the win. This one's chopped right side. Big hop for Perino, who grabs it and takes it to the bag for the first out.
Brings up the catcher, Eli Hopkins.
So Cobb retires the first man he faces. And faces Eli Hopkins, the catcher, who misses, or who watches the first pitch miss downstairs for ball 1. So the defense right now for the Bears: Collette still in left, Uri in center, Brown in right. Strike on the inside corner to Hopkins. Healy at third, Attile still at short, Ramirez at second, Perino still at first, and Clairno still behind the dish as they try to wrap up their third shutout of the season and win this series. We'll try to complete the sweep in about 30 minutes after the conclusion of this one. They're 1 out away from doing so as Hopkins goes upstairs for strike 3. Jackson Williams, the last chance for Coker here in game 1. Bends out of the way as some chin music for ball 1. Strike right at the belt buckle to Williams, who is 1 for 3 today. Cobras have only mustered 5 hits in the ball game. 4 of them against Lanham. Got 1 against Michael Allen in the 8th, but Allen erased that quickly when he induced a inning-ending double play, so gave up a hit but still faced the minimum in the 2-1. Williams thought about the swing. Looked like a strike from here, but it was apparently inside. 3-1. Challenged him low and in with the fastball, and now Coker is down to their final strike here in game 1. Lenoir-Rhyne's been playing baseball for 94 years. They have never won 16 games in a row until right now. Number 16 is dominant. 11-0 in game 1. The Bears blast Coker here to start this doubleheader, and we'll look to complete the sweep in about half an hour. For our Bears Sports Network crew, Eric Bach saying we'll see you in a little bit as the Bears look to wrap up this 3-game sweep here this weekend. Field. The Bears have dominated the first 2 games of this series and will look to complete the doubleheader sweep and the series sweep here on this late Saturday afternoon in Hickory. Eric Bach, delighted you're along with us in this presentation of the South Atlantic Conference on the Bears Sports Network, presented by MBA Roofing. Liston Edwards for the Bears, the transfer from Western Illinois, looking to finish off this series. And this is the number 1 starter for Coker, Chris Watkins. They pitched this series backwards in the hopes. And the 1-2 from Edwards. Flies up and away. 2-2. Austin, the grad student transfer, making his 3rd collegiate stop here in Hickory. They think, the coaching staff that is, thinks he is a pro. As Hall pops this one up straight over our heads. That one, it was as close to me as it's ever been, as it just barely snuck over our heads. Goodness gracious, I got to score keep, I've got a broadcast, I've got to dodge foul balls up here. This is truly a lot to ask of us today, as Riley Hall almost took us out there. But it's just a harmless foul ball, and another 2-2 coming from Edwards in the dirt. Good at-bat here to start from Hall. They went down against Lanham in the first inning in 6 pitches and kept Joshua Lanham under 100 pitches in 7 innings. So something they, I'm sure, would like to do here is stretch out these at-bats, especially early in this game against Austin Edwards. Full count pitch. Downstairs, ball 4. That's a perfect start for Coker. Can't ask for much better if you're the Cobras. And Riley Hall, the preseason second-team All-SAC performer, gives way to his teammate, another second-team preseason player for the Cobras. It's Phil Griffer, who had a great game in Game 1. A couple of doubles, a couple of RBIs. 1 for 4 in Game 2. That was earlier today. The 2-double game was last night. 17-4 Bears in Game 1. 11-0 LR in Game 2. This is up the middle. It could be 2. Atiles will take it to the bag himself. And it's the second double play turn today behind the Bears. And Ashby Vining takes ball 1. Freshman right fielder who has played really well defensively so far in this series waves at the 1-1 and fouls it off. In the 1-2. He got him on strikes. Edwards faces the minimum, gets a double play and a strikeout, and a good start for Eddie in this one. Bears will try to jump on the Cobras early. This is just a 7-inning game here in Game 2 on the Bears Sports Network. Bears going to work. Bottom of the first inning after Austin Edwards faced the minimum in the top half. Chris Watkins, the power lefty, making his 5th start of the season. 17 2/3. ERA just a touch over 4. Facing maybe the best lineup he's faced thus far this season. Led off by Wade Kuda, who takes a pitch downstairs for ball 1. 2 sacrifice flies in game 1 for Kuda. He was 1 for 1, 2 sac flies, and a walk in 4 plate appearances, and is ahead 2-0 here. Kuda's average down to, or up to a meager 471. It was in the 480s at the beginning of the week, so I can't believe he's let it go down that much. That was sarcasm for those of you out there that don't get that. But 471 for Kuda. Number 1 in the country in home runs this season. 3-0 pitch. Right down the middle for the first strike of the day for Watkins. If there's one thing that Watkins absolutely has to do in this start, it's not walk people. Coker has been such a problem the first 2 games. They've walked 19 combined batters in the first 2 games, and I would guess at least 15 of those guys have come around to score. That's not a walk. It's hit by pitch, and that is not good if you're Wade Kuda down there trying to stretch out his ankle. And that's just not a scene you want to see. Especially because that's just a waist pitch down. And he seems to be able to put some weight on it. So Stephanie Dudzik out there to check on him along with his head coach. But that's going to be ball 4. You just wish he was able to get out of the way. Ugh, not good. Might have bounced first, but seems to be maybe just more annoyed than anything. And Dudsey gets a fake round of applause. So we're working on getting that other camera. It's Luis Attiles, who, if you watch game 1, you know he was involved in just one of the wackiest plays I've ever seen. He's up to the 2-hole in this game after hitting cleanup in game 1. Squares to bunt, pulls it back, ball 1. So Attiles came up in the first inning, bases loaded, nobody out of game 1 today. Hits a home run, gets the ball out of the ballpark over the left field fence. But because it was so close and Hall, the left fielder, had a legitimate chance to make the play, as Attiles is now ahead 2-0. 7 pitches and 1 strike so far for Watkins, and that is not the start that he wants. But so Attiles passed Drew Yanesta at first base and was called out correctly by the umpires. And so it turned into, in the scorebook at least, a 3 RBI single and then a putout. Watkins has got to find it quick here. The ace for Coker is their best chance to win here this weekend. Cut away from it, Mads. Cut away from it, though. While she messes with it, cut away from it. And the 3-0 pitch is ball 4. So a hit by pitch that would have been a walk, and now a walk to Attiles. 9 pitches and 8 balls so far from Watkins, and that will draw a visit from the pitching coach for Coker. So now Yanesta, 2 hits, including a 2-run double in game 1 for Drew. He hits lefties even better than he hits righties. Hitting .397, almost back over .400 again after game one. Only one of 3 Bears that have started all 21 games so far, but he hits lefties almost .500 so far this season. So this is an ideal matchup for Drew. Graduate student from Charleston, South Carolina. Started his career at Erskine, finishing it here in Hickory for Lenoir-Rhyne. 2 on, nobody out, bottom of the first. Bears looking to score first. This, remember, a 7-inning game as Ginesta backs up the right foot out of the box for ball 1. Glad you're along with us. And I'm getting the hang of this broadcasting and scorekeeping thing. We had some struggle moments in game 1, especially when that Attiles thing happened. Of course, my first inning ever scorekeeping. Attile, we have a guy pass somebody on the base pass. Ginesta pops one up, foul ground. Giving chase is Hannah, and right inside the line and making the catch in right field is Vining. What a play. That was going to be a fair ball. It looked like it was tracking foul, but Vining slides over and grabs it for the first out. Kuda moves up to third, so it's not an unproductive out for Ginesta, but what a play. If there's a silver lining of this weekend for Coker, it's that their outfield defense has just been out of this world. Listing in center's been great. Hall's made a couple of good plays in left. And Vining in right, the freshman, has been super impressive. Clarno DHing in this game, caught the first game, and is in the cleanup spot. Pulls back a bunt. It missed high for ball 1. Cobra's trying to avoid the sweep after they swept in the first series. There's play going home, and Kuda's safe. RBI bunt single for Nick Clarno. A good jump off a third for Kuda. And the Bears strike first here in game 1.
Your first baseman, number 20, Anthony Perino.
So Perino, as the runners both go and both take their bases. So 2 men in scoring position for Perino. And Anthony tips the second pitch into the glove of the catcher Castillo, who's back behind the dish for this game 3 of the series. "16 pitches and only 4 strikes. So that is not the recipe for success against any team, but especially this Bear team that is just, if they smell blood in the water, they're like a pack of sharks. 2-1. Perino takes a good hack at it, but fouls it back to the screen. You can tell he's a little frustrated with himself today. Didn't have a great game 1 at the plate, 0 for 5. But still hitting .357 on the year. And leads the team in RBIs and is top 10 in the country in that category. 2-2. Way high and wide. And it's a full count on Perino. Just a 7-inning game here. Certainly a topic of debate about whether or not the sacks just go to 3 9-inning games. I feel like if you're going to play 9, as Perino hits this one to deep right field, Vining spins around it and makes the catch. Should be plenty deep enough to get the run in, and it is. Sack fly and an RBI for Anthony Perino in a 2 spot here in the bottom of the first inning for the Bears.
That brings up your second baseman, number 13, Cole Laskowski.
So Laskowski now, after he moved down to the 6 hole, takes a good cut at the first pitch and fouls it back for strike 1. Certainly not a demotion for Cole. It's you see Chris Ramirez change up the lineups a lot. Laskowski scored 3 runs, walked 3 times in game 1. 0 for 2, 3 walks, 3 runs scored. Went too far around there and is down 0-2. Clarno at second. Laskowski, lefty on lefty matchup. You probably see him move down because of the lefty Watkins, who gets the better of him here with a good breaking ball at the bottom of the zone for a called strike 3. But the Bears put up a crooked number in the first. Already lead 2-0 after 1 in the final game of this 3-game set in the SAC opening weekend on the Bear Sports Network. Four, 5, and 6 coming up in the top of the second inning against Austin Edwards. Walked the leadoff man in the first, but then induced a double play ball and then a strikeout. So just faced the top 3 in the order. Now facing Hannah, Jeffcoat, and Castillo here in the top of the second of this 7-inning game 3 of the season, of the SAC opening series for the Bears. First pitch to Hannah is fouled off. Spun out of the glove of Stober, who gets the start behind the dish here in game 1. And the 0-1 pitch. Ground line drive past Atiles, who leaned into it into left field for a base hit. Hannah's got his second hit of the series, and the leadoff man is on for the Cobras here in the second inning of game 3. So now Jeffcoat Played a really good third base. 0 for 4 with a pair of strikeouts against Lanham here in game 1 today. Looked to bunt. Pitch was a touch low for ball 1. Ynesta at third. Stays about 2 or 3 steps in front of the third base bag. Perino holds at first. Edwards takes a look at Hanna, who, he's a big guy, but he's already stolen 5 bases this year, including 1 last night. So definitely want to keep an eye on him if you're the Bears. And he takes off here. Pitch is low and dropped by Stober. It's actually a called strike. But another stolen base for Hanna. So man in scoring position. It's a big steal because Edwards got the ground ball last inning. Don't want a repeat of that if you're Coker. Maybe the bunt is still on here on 1-1. Jeffcoat pulls it back. Sometimes they bluff that when they show it so early, but looked like he was trying to bunt it if it was a strike. It wasn't. 2-1. The 2-1 again. Tried to bunt it, tipped it foul, and now 2 strikes. Bob McLaughlin says, get the job done to Jeffcoat here. So maybe the bunt's still on with 2 strikes. Bears got 2 runs in the bottom of the first. RBI bunt single from Clarno and a sacrifice fly and an RBI for Perino. Looking to win their 17th straight game. Chopped left side. Ynesta on the big hop. Checks the runner. Has to hurry. And they got him at first base. Well done there by Ynesta to get the speedy Jeffcoat. Keep Hanna right where he was at second base. And the first out of the second.
Brings up the catcher, number 20, Brian Castillo.
So now Brian Castillo, who, as I mentioned earlier, gets the start behind the dish here in Game 2 today after not seeing action in Game 1. Slow curveball from Edwards starts him off with a called strike. Castillo making his 16th start of the season, 286 on the year. Much more experienced of the 2 catchers here on this Coker team. In the 0-1. In the dirt, Stober blocks it, but Hanna gets a good jump and advances on the wild pitch. So 1-1 the count on Castillo with the first run of the day for Coker, not only in this game, but the entire day. Just 90 feet away. 1-1. Wave and a miss. Handcuffed him on a slider inner half. And Castillo's down 1-2. Dugout making some noise for him. Now that they've got Joshua Lanham back in the dugout to lead the cheers, seems to be a little bit more coordinated. The 1-2 line drive up the middle and through for a base hit. RBI single for Castillo. Cuts the lead in half. It's 2-1. 6th RBI of the season for Brian Castillo. And Coker answers the Bear 2 with one of their own here in the second. Still only one gone. Jackson Williams swings at the first pitch, fouls it out of play down the right field line. A great crowd here today at Durham Field, and why not? Teams won 16 games in a row. They're ranked number 15 in the country, which is the highest ranking for LR baseball since 2009. Gotta imagine, if there was ever a time to come watch the Bears, it's right now. The 0-1. Wave and a miss. Dove off the table as Williams just watched it miss his bat, and he's down 0-2. Bears trying to get some proper revenge on Coker after the Cobras knocked him out of the SAC tournament last season, ended their 2021 season. Time is called. LR won 3 out of 4 last year when Coker came here to Hickory. Obviously won the first 2 in this series here in 22. But you know they want to finish it off and keep that winning streak going. Another 0-2 to Williams. Downstairs, good block from Stober. Taken off as Castillo. Will they get him? They will not. Castillo barely in there as he spun around the bag, hung on for dear life with his right hand, and advances on the wild pitch. A good effort there from Stober. Take a look at the Spangler replay. Close play out there at second, but just bounced a touch too far away from Stober to get Castillo. I think that's the right call. I think he did get that right hand in there before the tag of Laskowski. 1-2. Off the mask of the umpire. Tipped off the bat of Williams. Just grazed the left side of the umpire's mask there, and his crewmates will come to check on him. That is one of the occupational hazards of being an umpire. Stephanie Dudzik checks on him, and I'm sure we'll get another round of applause from the team, and she does, and just shakes her head. Chris Ramirez in there to check on him as well, as you see. As an umpire myself, at least a former umpire, retired umpire, that was one of the reasons why I retired. But these guys have done a good job this weekend. Same crew that we had last night as well. That's how they do it in the SAC. Same 3 umpires work the whole series. Each one works home plate in one of the 3 games, but certainly got a difficult play right with the Atelier situation in Game 1 today and have been solid the whole weekend. The 1-2 pitch. Inside, just missed. And another 2-2. Breaking ball hit the other way and past Perino into right field. This will tie the game. Castillo motors around and will score. An RBI single from Jackson Williams has knotted us at 2 here in the second.
Center fielder number 2, Corey Listing.
See Braden Houston heading to the bullpen. Just a couple of badly timed wild pitches. A couple of hits here for Coker. They have 3 in this inning, actually. Hannah led it off. Castillo and Williams back-to-back. And now Listing, who's had probably arguably the best series offensively at the plate for Coker. 2 hits in each of the first 2 games. Is ahead 1-0 in the pitch. 2-0. And that will draw Derek Beasley. Bays is the epitome of calm when he goes out there to talk to the pitchers, and 99 times out of 100 after he goes out there, whatever the problem is for the pitchers improves. But after back-to-back singles, a wild pitch in there, and now falling behind the hitter listing 2-0, certainly was a warranted visit. Just a 7-inning game, remember, so less margin for error for both sides on the mound. Coker trying to steal one and end this 16-game winning streak, which is the longest single-season win streak in the 94-year history of Lenoir-Rhyne baseball. The longest winning streak in total is 19 games, but that was at the end of one season to the beginning of another. So the 16 in the single season is a new record that was set earlier today. Trying to keep it going, though. No reason the Bears should drop this third game in the 2-0. Downstairs again, 3-0. This has been the problem. When Edwards has run into problems this year, it's been walks. A couple of walks and then a hit. And here it's just been the hitting in this inning. Walked a guy in the first inning, but he was erased on a double play. No walks here in the second, but 3 hits allowed. And 3-0 is ball 4. So now you add a walk in there, and with 1 gone, there's 2 on for the 9-hitter Scudder. Andrew Scudder, that is. Started the first game of this series at second base. And now back at the 2-bagger in the series finale. Looking to bunt, lunges after it, and chips it back to the screen for strike 1. That's one thing that Coker hasn't done well in this game so far, is bunt. Jeff Coate earlier in this inning tried to bunt and ended up grounding out after he couldn't get it down. That's the only out of the inning so far, is that ground out. The 0-1. Here's the bunt down the first baseline. Perino picks it up and just tags the runner Scudder. So the job done. Sacrifice bunt for Scudder. Moves 2 men into scoring position for the top of the order. And Riley Hall coming up. Hall walked against Edwards in the first, but then was erased on a 6-3 double play. Attiles took care of it himself. But a big out to get here for Edwards. Keep this game tied. Offense got 2 runs the first time they came up. Certainly will not be held to just 2 in this game. So if Edwards can get out of this with the game still tied, that would go a long way for the Bears, I'm sure. Perfectly placed slider on the inner half. Hall was fooled there. I think he was sitting fastball and got the slider, and it's strike 1. Williams on third, drove in the second run of the inning. Good block by Stober to keep that one in front. Save a run, 2 balls and a strike. Lights are on, sun is setting here. It's actually warmed up as the day's gone on as far as the afternoon. It was about 65 when we first started. Now it's around 70. 2-2. Fastball pumped in on the corner. Big pitch there from Edwards, and now he's 1 strike away from keeping this game tied. Laskowski deep and up the middle at second base. Collette in left deep. Kuda shifts towards left center, in center. Bell deep and right as well. Big pitch early on in this one here. Fouled off. Spoiled a good pitch there. And Hall stays alive to fight another pitch. Dugout rumbles. Edwards kicks and delivers the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Changeup dove away from the lefty Hall, and the side is retired. Coker gets 2, ties the game up, but leaves 2 in scoring position. Bears going back to work on offense in the bottom of the second when you come back to Durham Field on the Bear Sports Network.
Being busy in my garden, I got flowers to plant and beds to clean out. When I was feeling really tired and not like myself, I saw a doctor. Look at me now. The doctors were good, they worked with me, and they laughed with me. I'm back to doing everything I love. I needed a doctor, and I found an expert for my heart.
Watkins threw 22 pitches in the first inning, only 9 strikes, but still was able to get out of it with relatively minimal damage considering the circumstances. And now his offense has tied things up. It's a new ball game for him as Braden Collette leads things off here in the bottom of inning number 2. First pitch misses low and away for ball 1. Collette, Bell, and Stober, bottom 3 in the lineup. Bears manufactured a couple runs after the walks. And Collette lines one to left field. Hall comes on and reaches down and makes the catch down by his ankles. Right on the barrel there was Collette, but Hall had him played perfectly. 2 pitches, 1 gone here in the bottom of the second. Collette's had a really nice day at the plate, seeing it well, a couple of walks, had his 3rd hit of the day taken away. David Bell tried to go around to bunt, and they say he did go around for strike 1. He was the offensive catalyst last night. 3 doubles, 4 RBIs, and a 13-run Bear victory. But in more of a dogfight here in Game 2 of this doubleheader, 1-1. Watkins, really solidly built dude. Spins the slider in on the corner for a called strike 2. Making his 5th start of the season. Has 2 wins, 2 losses. Pitched 6 innings of 2-hit ball last weekend against UVA Wise in a 4-1 victory. Bell chops it left side. Jeff Coate plays the short hop and makes a really nice play. Had to play the short hop to get Bell. And the first base umpire says they got him by half a step. 2 up and 2 down here in the bottom of the second for the Bears. But Jeff Coate continues to impress with his defense at third base. Everyone moves faster on the turf, including the ball, and he played it perfectly there for the second out. So now Bryce Stober's first at-bat of the day after he didn't play in Game 1. The Hickory native catcher takes the first pitch in the dirt for ball 1. Watkins, in Coker's only shutout win of the year, started against Shepherd a few Saturdays ago in early February. 6 innings, 2 hits, 7 strikeouts. Behind 2-0 on Stober here. So, mentioned earlier that the Cobras are pitching this series backwards, throwing their number 1 guy in the final game of the series. Bears did the opposite, throwing Andrew Patrick last night, Josh Lanham in Game 2, and Austin Edwards in Game 3. But as you heard Chris Ramirez allude to in Game 1, if you were tuning in when he came on the broadcast earlier today, that they think they have 3 or 4 number 1 guys, and Edwards is included in that group. 3-0 to Stober. Strike 1 on the upper outer part of the zone. Certainly not a guy you want to walk as the 9-man if you're Watkins, with the top of the order coming up. Kuda and Atiles, 2 leading hitters on this team, lurking. And the 3-1. There's the walk. So Stober does his job and sets the table for the top of the Bear order, and Kuda gets his second chance. Only the second walk of the season for Stober. I'd like him to see a few more pitches, but he does well there. And gives Kuda a chance here with 2 outs in the bottom of the second in a tie ball game. Watkins still not comfortable, it seems, in the strike zone. That's the 34th pitch he's thrown and only 14 strikes. Stober runs well at first base. Slider floats upstairs, 2-0 on Kuda. Got hit by a pitch and had a scary moment in the first inning. It was kind of a waste pitch. It was a 3-1 count. Obviously would have been ball 4 in the dirt, but it nicked Kuda's ankle and he stayed down for a second. And I think everyone in Bear Nation, both here and at home, kind of held their breath. Stober took off on the 2-0 pitch. Kuda fouled it back. And Bryce will saunter back to first. One for one stealing bags this year is Stober. Laskowski leads the team with 6 steals. Stober takes off again. This is in the dirt, and they just give him the base. So the second steal of the year for Stober. And a hitter's count with a man in scoring position for Kuda. Attile's lurking on deck. He had 5 RBIs in game 1. 3-1 pitch to Kuda. Way upstairs, ball 4. Stober steals third and safe. Wow. Jeffcoat did well to slide in there and get the tag down. That's risky business there. You never want to make the third out of an inning at third base. But Stober, pair of stolen bases in this at-bat. As Kuda walked, it was darn close. That left arm just missed the tag. And now another visit to the mound for the assistant coach for Coker. Runners on the corners, 2 outs. Attile's coming up. Now the umpire makes his way out to break up that conversation, but Watkins just hasn't had a whole lot of fastball command here in the first couple innings, but this is still a tie game, and he has a chance to put up a 0 here in the second. As the Bears try to mount a 2-out rally. Stober walked, stole second, stole third, and now Kuda walked. So 3 walks the first inning and 2/3 for Watkins. And Attile is trying to make him pay. Five RBIs in game 1. Good slider on the outer half from Watkins for strike 1. Everyone's doing the mustache thing these days. Bears have several guys on their team with the mustache. Watkins the same way. Seen a couple other Cobras also with mustaches. I don't know if that's like a baseball thing now. I don't know. I'm not sure that, you grow a mustache in your early 20s for cosmetic purposes. And Attile's robbed of a base hit by Hanna at first, who snares it. That probably would have been 2 runs if Hanna doesn't grab it, but he does, and the side is retired. So despite being wild in the inning, Watkins still puts up a 0, and we're through 2-2 in the series finale between Coker and Lenoir-Rhyne here on the Bear Sports Network. So a little bit of momentum for Coker now as we roll on the top of the third. They scored 2 runs in their half of the second. Got out of a jam in the bottom of the second. Left a couple men on. It was perhaps a little lucky as 2 of the 3 outs in that inning were hard-hit line outs for the Bears. There's a called strike to Phil Griffer. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Cobras here against Edwards in the third. That was the 42nd pitch that Austin's thrown. So The pitch count's in decent shape. Another curveball on the ground left side. Ynesta cuts it off and sidearms it off the bag and away. So an E5 throwing there. And Ashby Vining, who struck out against Edwards to end the first inning, one of 2 strikeouts so far for Austin. But the first man aboard again, just like the last inning. This time it wasn't Edwards' fault with the error. Trying to keep the running game in check that hurt him in the second. A couple of wild pitches, stolen base as well, moved some runners around. There's a line drive towards right center and down for a base hit. Vining's got a hit. Griffer easily into third, and Coker is in business here in the top of the third, looking to take their first lead of this entire series. And now Cody Hanna, who led things off in the second with a single, stole second base, scored the first run of the day for Coker, gets another chance here in an RBI opportunity with runners on the corners and nobody out. Here in the top of the third, just a 7-inning game, remember. So Coker trying to jump in front here for the first time this weekend. First pitch to Hanna's on the ground to first. Perino will go to second. They'll try to turn it, and they cannot. Trying to do the old 3-6-1 double play. But Hanna reaches, drives in the go-ahead run, and it's 3-2 Cobras. Ball almost gets away there from Perino on a bad throw back to first from Edwards. But that run unearned as it reached on the error. But the first lead of the weekend for the Cobras, trying to salvage 1 out of 3 and remain above 500 in conference play. First pitch to Jeffcoat is a slider that misses up for ball 1. Jeffcoat bounced out to third base in his first at-bat, tried to bunt to move the runner, and was unsuccessful, so had to swing away. Grounded out, was an unproductive out. Jeffcoat takes a fastball just below the knees for ball 2. He's ahead 2-0. Four hits in this game already for Coker, only 1 for the Bears. Another look over to first. Hanna likes to run. Already has a stolen base in this game. 2 in this series. So certainly keeping an eye on him. Edwards from the stretch. Hannah takes off. The pitch is swung on and lifted shallow left. Collette comes over and grabs it for the second out, and Hannah retreats back to first. So Jeff Coate retired, and Castillo, who drove in the first run of the day for Coker, back in the second, gets another chance. Senior catcher. Obviously, keeping an eye on Hannah over there, as things have chilled out in Hickory. The sun setting. First pitch to Castillo is hacked at and fouled off. Inside half fastball. Hannah safe again. Jackson Reed warming up for the Bears. Spencer Floyd down there as well. Edwards hasn't been bad today. Coker, to their credit, has made the most of their opportunities. Hannah fakes the steal. Castillo takes a breaking ball on the outer half, doesn't like the call, and is down 0-2. Edwards one strike away from holding Coker to just one run here in the third. Cobra's trying to play spoiler, break this 16-game winning streak that the Bears have. Runner goes again, and Castillo waves and misses for strike three. So Coker gets an unearned run and takes their first lead of the weekend. 3-2 Cobras after 2.5 innings in this 7-inning game on the Bear Sports Network.
Hometown Jeweler celebrates our hometown teams, college sweethearts. These couples met and fell in love in Hickory and have been together ever since. For the past 38 years, we've helped our clients celebrate a lot of milestones, and stories like these are some of our favorites. Bring your love back to where it all began. Show your college sweetheart the past as you look together to the future, and let us help you start your future here at Oz's Jewelers.
Watkins pitching with the lead for the first time here in the bottom of the third. It's 3-2 Coker over number 15 Lenoir-Rhyne. Eric Bach here with you on the Bear Sports Network, presented by MBA Roofing. Delighted you're along with me on this early Saturday evening, first Saturday of March. And Drew Yanesta takes a slider across the heart of the plate for strike one. As Watkins still has not thrown 50% of his pitches for strikes. But his team has the lead on the scoreboard, which is the number that matters the most. Ynesta, Clairno, and Perino coming up here. Watkins takes a little while and delivers. Upstairs, 2-1. It's actually 1-2. The scoreboard is wrong here at Durham Field. And Ynesta down swinging. Good fastball there from Watkins. Blows it past him. One gone, bottom of the third.
Your designated hitter, Nick Clairno.
So now Clairno, who has the only hit of the game so far for the Bears, and it was a bunt single. LR's hit 3 or 4 balls really hard, but they've just been right at people. Clairno drove in the first run of the game with an RBI bunt single back in the first. 2 in the first for the Bears, nothing in the second. And here we are in the bottom of the third. 7-inning game here in the series finale between Coker and Lenoir-Rhyne. Breaking ball perfectly placed down and in. 1-1 on Clairno. Another breaking ball, this one off the plate. Watkins has featured a steady diet of those breaking balls, especially to the righties. A lot of them have missed just like that, off the plate. For the most part, the Bears have laid off of them. And the 2-1. Upstairs, 3-1. 3 walks already for Watkins, but they haven't really hurt him. A couple of them did in the first, but he was able to limit the damage. So the Bears left 2 men on. Ready for the 3-1. Way high, and Clairno aboard again for the second time on his 17th walk of the season. So now Perino, after an 0 for 5 game 1 today, picked up a sacrifice fly and an RBI in his first plate appearance here in game 2. That was the second run of that first inning. Would be a good time for one of those Perino big flies. Instead, it's strike 1. Another good slider. Generally, when you throw 51 pitches and only 22 of them are strikes against this Bear lineup, you are in big trouble. But Watkins has avoided the big innings so far. Still early, and maybe a big inning's coming. Perino wraps a base hit into left field and has the second hit of this game, too, for the Bears.
Your second baseman, Cole Laskowski.
So a base hit for Perino puts the tying run at second. Go-ahead run at first. Laskowski to shortstop. Griffer flips, and they turn it. Picked at first by Hanna. 6-4-3, and the inning is over. So Coker put up a couple zeros in a row. Watkins gets the double play behind him. And all of a sudden, the Cobras are feeling a lot better about themselves than they have been the whole weekend. We're through 3-2 Coker over Lenoir-Rhyne on the Bear Sports Network. First Carolina West called to the bullpen here in this Game 2 of the doubleheader. Brings Cannon Butler to the mound. Hard-throwing sidearm righty. Grad student from Cary, NC. Went to Apex High. And he is met with a ground ball to shortstop off the bat of Jackson Williams. They had him played perfectly. Did Perino get him? He did not. Perino's saying that he tagged him. Can't believe it. See if the umpires will get together and talk this out. Perino adamant that he tagged Williams on the throw. Let's take a look at the Spangler replay. They had him shifted there with Laskowski at second. Let's take a look. Oh, it looks like it got him on the left arm there. It looks like they got him on the left arm. So the umpires are going to talk about it with Chris Ramirez not part of the conversation. Look at Perino, as fiery as ever, and they say safe. So it ends up going down as an E6 on the throw.
Center fielder, Corey Liston.
So now Listing gets a chance. Cannon back healthy now after had a little bit of a scare early in the season. Pitched scoreless inning of relief on Wednesday against Georgia College. Also pitched an inning in that marathon 13-inning game against Georgia Southwestern. The ERA is 4.5 because his first outing he gave up 3 runs. It didn't record an out, but since then he's been great. So that ERA was super inflated early. There's a strike on the outside corner to Listing, 1-1. But in this 7-inning game, Bears only have 4 chances left to hit, so want to keep Williams from scoring after Williams is on base again after he tied the game with an RBI single. That was back in the top of the 2nd inning. This one has a lot more of a feel to the SAC tournament game that these two played. It was a 4-2 Coker win at the end of last April. Listing holds back 2-1. Two errors in this game for the Bears. Both of them have been costly. The go-ahead run in the third was unearned. Listing leans out of the way, 3-1. He's had a good day and a good series offensively. 2 hits in each of the first 2 games. And walked in his first at-bat today. First plate appearance today, I should say. The 3-1. Swing and a miss. Looked like Butler took something off there. Listing was way ahead of it, and the count is full. Another look over there to Williams. Coker's been aggressive on the base pass this whole series, but especially in this game. Hannah the only steal so far, but there's been men in motion often. And Listing goes down swinging. Big strikeout there for Cannon Butler. Good pitch down and away. And that's a big out to get. Listing's been a hard out in this series. And Butler bounces back after the error. And Scutters takes a pitch down at his shins and away for ball 1. Winding down a huge day of Bears sports here on this campus and on the Bear Sports Network. La Crosse is about to sweep Coker. Last I saw, the Bear men were up 20-2 over the Cobras, which is just a complete blowout any way you slice it. LR women's lacrosse, as this one's on the ground and through the right side for a base hit. Williams will stop at second. Cobras have found some holes here in game 2 of this doubleheader today. Finding all the holes that the Bears aren't right now offensively. And have 2 men on with 1 gone. And the top of the order coming up. And that is the end of the day for Cannon Butler. So another Carolina West call to the bullpen. Butler going out. Henry Cartrette coming in. We'll tell you about him when we come back in this one-run game on the Bear Sports Network. Carolina West call to the bullpen brings Henry Cartrette to the hill. Transfer from USC Aiken. 8th appearance of the year, 5 1/3. Is just a strikeout machine. As Jacob Yarberry has pinch run for Williams out at second base. Cartrette giving up just 2 earned in 5 1/3. 13 strikeouts. So you do the math. That's 16 outs in 5 1/3 innings. And 13 of them have been strikeouts. Top of the order, Hall takes a slider at the top of the zone for strike 1. It's a high leverage situation here. You don't want this lead to increase any more than just the 1 run it is right now. In the 0-1. Swing and a miss. Slow curveball that Hall uppercut at. Missed it. 0-2. Some more speed at second base with Yarberry. They move Kuda into the left center field gap. Big hole on the right side. as Laskowski plays a little bit more up the middle. The 0-2. Slider upstairs. A ball and 2 strikes. Trying to mess with Yarberry out there at second base is Atiles. Coach Ramirez out of the dugout right now, moving his outfielders. Collette moves a little bit in. Kuda more into the left center field gap. The 1-2 down and away. And Hall has fought it back even to 2-2. It's a big game for the Bears to finish off this sweep, keep the winning streak going, start perfect in conference play. It's a favorable conference schedule this year for the Bears. They miss both Wingate and Newberry in the regular season. Do have to go to Catawba. That's maybe the toughest series on the regular season schedule. The opportunity is there for the Bears. They keep on playing the way they are to win their first SAC championship in over 20 years. 2-2. Ground ball right side. Laskowski dives and it's through. Yarberry coming home. The throw home is not cut off and everyone moves up. So an RBI single for Hall. Doubles the lead. It's 4-2 Coker. So now, Phil Griffer takes ball 1. And now 2-0. Again, this is the scorekeeping part of this. People advancing on the throws is new. But second and third for Griffer, the most dangerous bat in this lineup. Now he's ahead 3-0. Here's a ground ball, another one through the right side. 2 more runs will score as the throw home is not in time, and it's a 2-run single for Griffer. It's 6-2. Coker, a 3 spot here in the top of the 4th, was still only 1 out. They've been living through that right side of the infield. Not terribly hard hit, but effective, and they just keep on doing it here in the middle innings of this one. As the Bears will make another pitching change. Cartrette can't get the job done this time around. And it's 6-2 Cobras as we make another Carolina West call to the bullpen when you come back. Another Carolina West call to the bullpen brings another righty out of the pen. It's Braden Houston, making appearance number 8 on the season. Pitched 2 shutout innings on Wednesday against Georgia College with 2 strikeouts. Hasn't given up a hit in his last 3 appearances. Only has given up 1 hit the entire season and no earned runs. So Houston in 6 2/3, 1 hit allowed, 2 walks and 11 strikeouts. So this is hopefully just what the doctor ordered for the Bears, who have given up a 3 spot here in the top of the 4th. Still only 1 gone. The middle of the lineup coming up. Ashby Vining, the 3-hitter, digs in. 6 runs for the Cobras, only 4 of them earned. Couple of costly errors for the Bears. I've seen both of those guys come around to score. So Houston trying to keep up his sensational season. Native of Iowa City, transferred in from Southeastern Community College. Midwestern boy. Ran into him and his family. His parents are in from Iowa this weekend, last night, after the game. So not needing to watch us on the Bear Sports Network for once. Here to witness their son pitch in person, which is cool for them, I'm sure. First pitch is upstairs for ball 1 to Vining. But back-to-back RBI singles, right ground ball singles to the right side of the infield for Coker. One by Hall and one by Griffer. Driven in the 3 runs in this inning for the Cobras. They've got 7 hits and no errors. They've played really clean in this game 3. 2-0. It all started in this inning when Matiles made the throw a little bit up the line at first base. Perino adamant that he tagged the runner. The umpires did not agree. We agreed with Perino based on the replay that we saw here on the Bear Sports Network. But the call didn't go the Bears' way, and that run ended up coming around. And the 2-0 downstairs. Houston's had basically perfect command so far this season in his 6 2/3, but not so far in this at-bat. He's behind Vining 3-0. Remember, this is just a 7-inning game, so if there was ever a time for Coker to jump ahead, this is it. And Houston walks Vining on 4 pitches, so not a good start for him out of the pen. Still just a ground ball away from getting out of this thing, though. And now Cody Hanna. One for 2 with an RBI. Also saved at least 1, maybe 2 runs defensively. Atiles lined a hot shot down the right field line, and Hanna grabbed it at first base before it got into right field. There were runners on the corners at that point. .2-0 is the first strike that Houston's thrown in this outing. A breaking ball over the heart of the plate. 1-1. In the 1-1. Change up. Nips the inside corner. 1-2. Still a force everywhere in the infield. Middle infielders at double play depth for the Bears. Corner infielders back as well. You spin around to take a look at Griffer out there at second. It's been a long inning. This is the third different pitcher for the Bears we've seen. Butler got the first out. Cartrette could not record an out, and now here's Braden Houston. 1-2 pitch. Right off the end of the bat, spun foul. Hannah lucky to stay alive there, but he does. Still 1-2. Griffer at second. Only one steal this season, been caught twice. Vining 4 steals at first, so some good speed on the base pass. You can just tell that Griffer's got good speed the way he plays shortstop. There's a swing and a miss. Big bounce back there for Houston after he walked the first man he faces, but gets a tough out in Hannah, and that changes the complexion of this inning. Now 2 gone. So now Jeff Coate, 0 for 2 today. All 6 runs in this game for Coker have been scored by 6 different guys. There's no Coker player that has more than 1 run scored. It's been up and down this lineup. They've been strong top to bottom in this series finale. Jeff Coate, 0 for 2 in this one. It's the only Cobra to not reach base in this game so far. And the 1-0. Breaking ball, top of the zone, 1-1. So Houston trying to hold the Bears in. Cartrette responsible for both of these runners on base right now. The 1-1. Away from Stober as he tried to stab at it, could not get there. 2-1. Runners move up to second and third. Wild pitches have been a problem today for the Bears. That's now 4 of them. Has really given Coker some good opportunities base running wise to get out of stickier situations than they were in. Now a base hit almost certainly scores 2. 2-1. That's just strike 2 as the umpire punched out Brady Jeffcoat there a little prematurely. It's just 2-2. God, that's an umpire's worst nightmare right there. Punching somebody out when it's actually only strike 2. Speaking from experience there. Huge pitch in this game. Trying to keep this a 4-run ball game. The 2-2 in the dirt. Stober bodies it up, keeps it in front. Full count. Braden Houston in his highest pressure situation so far as a Bear. See if he can come through for LR. Red-headed righty delivers. Ground ball up the middle. Atiles plays it off the short hop. Has trouble with the transfer and safe. Perino picked it. But Atiles a touch slow there on the throw. Perino thought he was out, but Jeffcoat beats it out. And an infield single. Now Jeffcoat up to second on the wild pitch. All of a sudden, Watkins is pitching with a big lead here in the bottom of the fourth. 7-2 Cobras over the Bears of Lenoir-Rhyne. The record 16-game winning streak very much in jeopardy here as we play in the bottom of the fourth of this 7-inning game. But that was a long time for Watkins to sit. I would guess that half inning was 25, 30 minutes. 2 pitching changes for the Bears. And Colletts takes a pitch in the dirt. A ball and a strike. Braden hit a ball really hard to left field in his first at-bat, and Hall made a nice running, lunging catch at it. Right on the barrel was Collette, the 1-1. Breaking ball, top of the zone. Watkins gets the call. And Collette's letting him know that it's up, letting the umpire know that he thought it was upstairs, but the umpire's opinion, the only one that matters. And the 1-2. Fastball way off the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is the largest deficit of the season for LR. They were down 4-0 to Georgia College on Wednesday. That was like out of the chute. Bobcats scored 4 in the first 2 innings. But now down 7-2. Here, different circumstances. Collette swings and misses. Castillo has to finish it and does.
Your right fielder, David Bell.
Bell waves and misses. Strike one. So Watkins now, you got to think that he's got a lot of confidence now. Feels like he can probably take a few more chances with now a 5-run lead. Be a little bit more aggressive in the zone, and maybe he'll get burned a little bit, but in a 5-run game, you can afford that sometimes. Especially this game only being 7 innings. Bell hit by the pitch. Slider caught him on the left thigh. Bears have a base runner here in the bottom of the 4th, trying to answer the big 4-run inning as Matt Mackey coming up to pinch hit. So Mackey will hit for Stober. Came up huge in this role.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Now pinch hitting for your Bears, number 18, Matt Mackey.
On Sunday, sorry for the long pause there, folks. Got to enter the official scorekeeping information in with Mackey DHing. But came up in a pinch hit role in the bottom of the 9th inning. Bears down a run to Georgia Southwestern on last Saturday, 1 week ago today. And blasted, and I mean blasted, a solo home run to tie the game, straightaway left field. Game went to 13 innings, and the Bears ended up winning it. Grounds this one left side. Off the glove of Jeff Coate, everybody's safe. And now Bell will try to get to third base, and he will. Jeff Coate stayed on his belly there for a second. Bell saw nobody was home, and he took third base.
That brings up your center fielder, Wade Gouda.
So Bell takes 2 bases on the infield single. No error there for Coker. But now the top of the Bear order coming up. Got to answer here if you're LR. Feels like a huge opportunity here with Kuda and Attiles coming up and runners on the corners. Kuda, first pitch slider. Bottom of the zone for strike one. And now they're going to pinch run for Matt Mackey out there at first base. But he gets the job done again in a pinch hitting role, and Ethan Smith will come in and run for him.
Ladies and gentlemen, now running at first base for your Bears, number 14, Ethan Smith.
Count 0-1 on Kuda. Smith a lot more speed, and now the catcher Castillo will come out and give the first and third signal. Time for a comeback for the Bears. Have a lot of work to do if they want to get to 17 straight wins. The 0-1 to Kuda. Strike two. Down and in. Watkins is getting the calls here at the bottom of the zone. Bears don't like it, but Watkins, to his credit, has been a lot more consistent in the strike zone. Still less than 50% strikes. That was his 65th pitch and 31st strike. But has been a lot more consistent recently. The 0-2. Kuda lines it left center field. Listing goes over and grabs it in the gap. That will get the run in. Just narrowly missed extra bases. And it's back to a 4-run game now with 2 outs. That's the 4th sacrifice fly of the series for Wade Kuda. Getting the job done exactly how they need him to. Not playing long ball quite as much as he had been earlier in the season, but Bears don't need him to hit a home run every single game. If he can do stuff like that, he's just as valuable. The 0-1 pitch to Attile. Smith takes off. Attile swings and misses, and Ethan Smith grabs a stolen base. But Watkins one strike away from limiting the damage to just one here in the fourth. And Attile's nearly got grazed by that pitch on his left ankle, but it missed. A ball and 2 strikes. Listing in center still pretty shallow. It's a deep yard out there in center. Holds a lot of balls on the warning track. 1-2 to Attile's. Downstairs, wisely held back. He's fought it back even to 2-2. Hall very deep and left. You don't know in this 7-inning game. Could be the last time the top of this Bear order comes up with a man in scoring position. Never know. Got to make the most of your opportunities when you have them. 2-2. Upstairs, full count. Only 3 hits so far for the Bears. A 4th one here would be big. Full count pitch to Attile's. Ball 4. What an at-bat. Seeing it really well. Went after 1 pitch in the dirt, but after that, righted the ship. And now 2 men on for Clarno. Or, pardon me, 2 men on for Ynesta. Big chance here for Drew. Somebody throwing in the Coker bullpen. Now more seriously after that walk. They were kind of lollygagging around down there. You see him throwing. The catcher Castillo probably wasting a little time so they can get warmed up. Just in case. Only 72 pitches for Watkins. I'd ride him until I couldn't anymore if I was Bob McLaughlin, the head coach for Coker. Big spot here for Drew Ynesta. 0 for 2 with a strikeout in this one. Had a pair of hits and a pair of RBIs in game 1 of the doubleheader today. Now would be a good time for one of those. First pitch, line drive, caught! Snagged out of the air by Watkins. That thing was going up the middle, and that is a microcosm of this game offensively for the Bears. They keep hitting the ball hard, and Coker just keeps on catching it. We're through 4. Coker's up 4, 7-3 on the Bears Sports Network. Another Carolina West call to the bullpen brings the freshman sensation Caleb Cockerham in. 10th appearance of the season, 9 2/3 innings logged in his first year in Hickory. Giving up 5 hits, just 1 earned run. ERA is 0.93 for Caleb. 14 strikeouts and just 6 walks. Lefty that cuts the ball. There's a lot of funky spin out of his hand, and the opposing hitters so far have been unable to figure him out. And hopefully for the Bears, that's the case today. Cockerham hasn't pitched in this series so far, so this is his sack debut. And Nick Leonard is the pinch hitter, so this was Yarberry, the pinch runner's spot in the lineup. And Leonard, who pinch hit in the middle of Game 1 of this series, gets another shot here in the 5th inning of Game 2. First pitch from Cockerham misses outside for ball 1. So Clarno, after the Bears pinch hit for Stober, the catcher last half inning, Clarno moves from DH to catcher, so the Bears have burned the DH. And Cockerham's behind 2-0 to Leonard. LR in danger of breaking their 16-game win streak here and dropping this 3rd and final game of this series to Coker. Remember, only a 7-inning game, so just 2 innings left after this 5th inning. Bears won the first 2 9-inning games. Seven runs, 8 hits for Coker, no errors, 3 runs, only 3 hits for the Bears, and 2 errors, which led to 2 unearned runs. Cockerham walks the leadoff man, which is unlike him. And now that brings up Listing, and I believe they're going to pinch run for Leonard over there at first. They are. Trying to figure out who that pinch runner is. We'll get that to you as soon as we can. But now Listing was 1 for 1 in this game. Takes a strike at the bottom of the zone. There's a ground ball through the right side again for a base hit. Throw to third is... They got him! He came off the bag. The pinch runner. And Bob McCaughlin can't believe it. Bob McLaughlin giving the umpire a piece of his mind here. Ooh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if Inesta got the tag on him. It's hard to tell from here. So Melvin, the pinch runner, thrown out after the single by Listing. Again, the scorekeeping is holding me up here, folks. I apologize. 1-1 the count on Andrew Scudder. And Scudder takes strike 2 from Cockerham, but that's a big call at third base. You know, that's that Coker wants to add on, so we finally have the scorekeeping. Again, first day broadcasting and scorekeeping, so glad you're bearing with me all day long. But 2-2 now on Scudder. But that's a big call at third base because that's a huge insurance run for Coker. The Bears chipped away at the lead with a run in the bottom of the fourth, but as Bear fans know well, they are at any point can explode for 5+ runs in any given inning. So Coker wants to build up this lead as much as possible. And you can just tell that Bob McLaughlin out here at third base is still fuming about the call. Replay didn't show definitively one way or the other. The runner goes. The pitch is upstairs. The throw is not in time. Kept the arm on the base as Attiles and Listing are out there laying on each other, but it's a stolen base for Listing. And the count is full. So a man in scoring position. Coker trying to answer the LR run in the bottom of the fourth with more here in the top of the fifth. Big secondary out there at second for Listing and ball 4. Listing stays put on the pitch in the dirt, but not the worst thing ever. Brings the force back into play on the infield, and that'll draw Derek Beasley to talk with Cockerham. Brings the whole infield in. Looking like they're talking about his pacing maybe. Hasn't seemed completely in rhythm like he normally does in these situations. It's a quick conversation, but still just a ground ball away from ending this inning and sending the Bears back on offense. Still 9 outs left on offense for the Bears, and they've certainly scored a lot more than 4 runs in 9 outs worth of games. So all is not lost yet for the Bears. But you know this is a game that they want. I mean, you want all the games, but given the way that they've just beaten the brakes off of Coker in the first 2, you don't want to let them steal one from you in the series finale. That's the 11th pitch that Cockerham has thrown and only 2 strikes, which is uncharacteristic of the freshman so far in his brief time here in Hickory. 2 walks in this inning already. And the 1-0. There's a fastball. Must have been a touch off the plate to the lefty Hall on the top of the Coker order coming up. It's 2-0. Hall squares to bunt, pulls it back. It's a strike at the bottom of the zone. I've seen that pitch pretty consistently called both ways in this game. 2 balls and a strike. So Listing at second, singled. Melvin, the pinch runner, was thrown out at third by Bell in right field. Stole second, did Listing, and then Scudder walked. He's at first. 3-1. Cockerham hasn't quite found the handle yet in this outing. And looks like Ben Friebel down there in the bullpen, ready at a moment's notice for the Bears. It's been a rough game 3 of this series for the Bear Arms. But a good pitch there. Fastball in the outer half, tailing away from the lefty Hall. The count is full. Outfielders drastically shift to the outfielder's right. Camera's left. Kuda in the left center field. Collette way more towards the line. Full count pitch. Swing and a miss. Big time moxie shown there by Caleb Cockerham after he was behind deficit for the Bears on the Bear Sports Network. Of the top of this 5th inning here today. Got to go through a good hitter and Phil Griffer. Friebel 2.35 ERA this season. He's been good in 7 2/3. 2 saves. Couple of outings ago, did blow a save in that 13-inning game. The Bears had the lead, couldn't hold it, but it ended up on a happy note for the Bears. Griffer waves his bat at that fastball off the plate. It's foul, 1-2. Bears trying to get some momentum back. Scored a run in the bottom of the 4th. Trying to hold Coker to nothing here in the top of the 5th. Get the sticks back going with 4, 5, and 6 coming up. Griffer off the end of the bat to third. Ionesta will have to go to first. Throws low, but Perino picks it and saves 1, maybe 2 runs. Big time defensive play there for Perino. Puts a 0 up in the 5th. Bears coming up to hit in the bottom of the 5th. 9 outs left to try to preserve this win streak and sweep Coker on the Bears Sports Network. Watkins back to work, bottom of the 5th, protecting a 4-run lead right now. Coker 7, Lenoir-Rhyne 3, Clarno-Perino-Laskowski coming up here in the bottom of the 5th. Feels like the Bears have to get at least 1, 2 or 3 would be better to make themselves feel a little bit more confident in their chances as we go down the stretch. Clarno is an RBI bunt, single, and a walk. So he's been on twice. The energy right now way up in the Bear dugout. They got a run in the bottom of the 4th. Perino made a great pick at first base to preserve a couple of runs, or at least 1 run, maybe 2, last half inning when Ynesta threw low. And Clarno's ahead 2-0. Confidence is high right now for the Bears. Came back from a 4-run deficit on Wednesday to comfortably beat Georgia College. Down 5 at one point in this game. As Coker got 4 runs in the top of the 4th. Clarno squares to bunt, pulls it back, and is ahead 3-0. Got to think that the end is near for Watkins if he walks Clarno here. Coker's had guys throwing in the bullpen for quite a while now, but haven't needed them as Watkins has been able to weather the storm. Full count, or 3-0 pitch is way upstairs for ball 4. Second walk for Clarno. So now Perino meeting with his head coach down in the bottom right-hand part of your screen. Last time we saw the two of them have a meeting like that, Anthony Perino hit a 3-run walk-off home run to start this 16-game winning streak. The Bears haven't lost since then. It's Perino's first at-bat at home here at Durham Field against Barton. Knocked a 3-run homer over the left field, or over the right field wall to give the Bears the win. Watkins is way upstairs, ball 1. Still under 50% with strikes. That was pitch number 78, and only 35 strikes for Watkins, but only has given up 3 hits. His wildness has probably helped him a bit. He's thrown 6 straight balls here in the bottom of the 5th, and Perino's up 2-0. And that will draw pitching coach out of the Coker dugout. I don't know if a change is coming yet, because I think Bob McLaughlin's trying to ride Watkins as long as he can, because the Bears have just throttled opposing bullpens this season. Can the Bears come back, scratch and claw their way back? This might be the most impressive win on the streak. If the Bears are able to mount the comeback, still a long way to go, a lot of work to do. 2-0 on Perino, nobody out, bottom of the 5th. Clarno on first. Perino gives the bunt signal, pulls it back, and it's way high, 3-0. We are working on that camera behind home plate, so this is what we have right now. Glad you're with us. Can feel some drama building as we go down the stretch here in this series finale. Just a 7-inning game. Perino pulls it back, strike 1. Three-one to Perino. Upstairs, holds back, ball 4. Back-to-back walks for Watkins, and I wonder if this is the end?
Your second baseman, Cole Laskowski.
It appears not, with the lefty Laskowski coming up. Figure this will be a bunt. Third baseman Jeff Coate in front of the bag. Laskowski pulls it back, strike one. Feels like a bunt situation at least. Laskowski's been swinging it well. 6-0. Laskowski calls time. LR trying to remain perfect at home. They're 15-0 here between the bricks at Durham Field this season. The 0-2. Laskowski waves and misses. Behind the slider. Big strikeout for Watkins. One gone. And that is going to be the end for Watkins. So, the lefty Laskowski is his last batter. He leaves on a good note. See if the Bears can get to the bullpen as Watkins leaves with the lead. Watkins going out. A Carolina West call to the bullpen for the Cobras of Coker coming up when you come back to Durham Field on the Bears Sports Network. Carolina West called the bullpen for Coker here in the series finale. Brings Tanner Wofford into the game, one of the more experienced guys in this bullpen. But he's been roughed up a little bit this year. Got the save against LR in the SAC tournament last year. Just got one out in that game. Faces Braden Collette here. And fires in strike one on a slider. Three innings, 4 hits, 6 earned against UVA-Wise last weekend for Wofford. So the Bears will try to replicate that performance by the Cavaliers against him. Collette holds back, a ball and a strike. Braden's 0 for 2, hit a ball super hard his first at-bat, lined out to Hall in left field, and then struck out. Big spot for the freshman early in his Bear career. 1-1. Ooh, that looked down. Called a strike, 1-2. Looked pretty well below the knees. not a great time for the zone to expand. Collette, ooh, that one looked good. Must have missed inside, I guess. Castillo seemed to be okay with it, 2-2. Looked like that one was a strike, and the pitch before was ball, so I guess it all evens out. Two and two on Collette. 2 on, 1 out. Both runners belong to the starter, Watkins. He walked Clarno and Perino. Struck out Laskowski and then was lifted. 2-2. Tipped, foul, right at home plate. Collette barely stays alive. Just got to get the runners moving at the very least here if you're Collette. Fastball, he got him on strikes. Collette played with fire there, took too many close ones, and he's retired. And back-to-back strikeouts now for Coker pitching after the first 2 walks. The first 2 men who came up in the inning walked. Now it's up to David Bell to get these runners moving. Bears had some momentum, trying to keep that momentum with Bell. Slider, called strike on the corner. How will the Bears handle adversity here? We'll see. Bell, left field. This is deep. This is gone. That answers that question. It's a 1-run game. Big hit, Bell gets another. No doubter off the batting cages to left field. What a big hit for the Bears.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Now pinch hitting for your Bears. Number 11, Brett Urey. Urey for Smith.
David Bell has killed Coker in this series and has brought this thing back to a 1-run game. The Bears are getting out-hit 9-4 in this game, but have by far the biggest hit of the game so far. Brett Urey pinch hitting and is ahead 2-0. This is that DH slot that Mackey got a base hit in the last time around. Ethan Smith pinch ran for him, and then Urey pinch hit for Smith. Hack and a miss, 2-1. So Wofford gives up the big hit, but still, Coker's ahead in this game, so all is not lost for the Cobras. But the pressure cooker is turned up. 3-1. Urey this season, as he swings and pops this one up foul and just over the Coker first base dugout. 292, 7 for 24. That was David Bell's third home run. RBIs number 19, 20, and 21. Third place on the team in that category. He's just been so opportunistic. Gets chances to drive in runs at the bottom of the lineup, and he comes through more often than not. Full count pitch to Urey is slapped to deep right or shallow right center field, but the second baseman grabs it on the short outfield grass to retire the side. So Bell gets the big hit. It's a one-run game as we head to the 6th on the Bear Sports Network. Another Carolina West call to the bullpen. Brings Jackson Reed on in what has become a one-run game. A 3-run homer for David Bell in the bottom of the 5th inning. Cut this down to a 7-6 ball game. The top of the 6th inning of the 7-inning series finale between Lenoir-Rhyne and Coker. Eric Bach, delighted you're along with me on what should be a great final stretch here on the Bear Sports Network, presented by our friends at NBA Roofing. 3, 4, and 5 coming up against Jackson Reed, the tall 6'7", 200-pound redshirt sophomore from Mooresville. 10th appearance of the year, 9 1/3. Giving up just 7 hits and 2 earned, and the ERA is 1.93. First pitch to Ashby Vining, a 3-hitter. Foul back to the screen for strike 1. Bears were down 7-2. They've scored the last 4 to cut this down to just a 1-run game. Vining watches that fastball miss down and away, a ball and a strike. Vining takes strike 2 on the outer half. Jackson Reed has just been one of the guys that they had high hopes for, but I think he's exceeded even the coaching staff's expectations for him. Vining goes around. Yes, he did, and is tagged out for strike 3. Jackson got himself into a little bit of a pickle in the Georgia College game on Wednesday. Gave up a couple of hits, 2 men in scoring position against him, but he got a strikeout to end that inning and keep his scoreless streak going. And the first pitch to Hannah is off the plate for ball 1. Righty on lefty matchup here. It's a good problem to have when you're a pitching coach. You don't entirely know who you should go to late in games because there's just too many choices. Certainly better than the alternative. Bunch of guys on the list that you don't want to go to, and that's certainly not the case on this pitching staff. And the 2-0. Half-hearted swing there that's chopped foul down the third base line. 2-1. Hannah 1 for 3 with an RBI single in this game. Tied the game at 2. The Bears got the first 2 of the game in the first. Coker bounced right back with 2 in the top of the second to tie it up, and Hannah's RBI single was the second of those 2 runs. 2-2. Reed trying to put up another 0 for the second inning in a row for the Bears. Hannah fights it off and stays alive. Bears trying to complete a perfect 6-0 day against Coker. Took 2 in lacrosse, took 2 in softball, trying to take 2 in baseball. Strike 3 called. 2 men faced, 2 strikeouts for Jackson Reed. And now Jeffcoat will try to have a different fate. Brady takes a strike. 1 for 3 with an RBI in this one. 6 different guys have RBIs in this game for Coker. Only Griffer, as that pitch misses, touchdown and in. Only Phil Griffer has 2 RBIs, and that was on a 2-run single on the same hit. Cobras have 9 hits in this game, and nobody in their lineup has more than 1 hit. All 9 of the guys have 1 hit in this lineup today for Coker. Jeffcoat's ahead 2-1. It's been, I don't know how you can get more balanced than that offensively if you're the Cobras, who have really struggled more so on the mound than offensively in this series, although they did get shut out in Game 2. Chopper to second. Laskowski finishes off a perfect 1-2-3 inning for Jackson Reed. He says, let's go right now. The Bear offense will try to grant that wish when you come back to Durham Field on the Bear Sports Network. Wofford's still out there in the bottom of the 6th after giving up the big 3-run home run to David Bell in the 5th. Now, he wasn't responsible for the 2 men on base, but we'll have to deal with the top of this Bear lineup. Kuda, Atiles, and Ynesta coming up in the bottom of the 6th. Bears down 1, trying to tie or take the lead here in this final game 3 of this series. Looking to win their 17th straight game. Two 2-0. That's been the problem for Coker this whole series, is walks and then hits after the walks. Wade has yet to actually record an official at-bat in this game. And this one's to deep right field, hooking foul, Vining running and can't get there as he slides after it in foul ground. Just a long strike number 1. Kuda hit by a pitch, walked, and a sacrifice fly and an RBI. Drove in the 3rd run for the Bears in the 4th. That was big to answer back after Coker put up 4 in the top half of that 4th inning. And even though it was just 1 run, it was good to show that the Bears were still fighting. 2-2, perfect spot at the bottom of the zone for Wofford. Kuda up in the box, the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Got handcuffed. Knew that he shouldn't have gone after it and did, and that's a big first out to get.
Your shortstop, Louis Santilli.
So now Louis Atiles hit a ball out of the park in game 1. Didn't actually get credit for a home run because he passed Ynesta on the base pass. So has hit one out of the park today. Bears don't need that right now. They just need a little rally. It is a really nice night here in Hickory. That's way low that Atiles takes for a called strike. That's down at his ankles. Can't call that a strike at this stage in the game. It's just a really bad call. I've been complimentary of the umpires this weekend, but now is not the time to fail me, boys. 1-2. Wofford has a lot of experience in these types of situations. Closer last year for Coker. Save this year. The numbers, frankly, aren't very good this year for Wofford. Bears trying to get to him. 1-2. Touch inside. 2-2. Breaking ball didn't make it all the way back. Defense has Atiles played straight up. Downstairs, full count. That's about the same spot that the last strike was called, so Atiles maybe playing with fire a little bit there, but he knows the zone better than me. Full count. Listing in center, not very deep. Full count pitch is fought off, and Wofford grabs it and runs it over to first. 2 up and 2 down against the top 2 men in the order here for Wofford.
Your third baseman, Drew Ynesta.
Those are likely the last 2 times we'll see Kuda and Atiles and come to the plate in this game unless we go to extra innings. And Ynesta gets hit by the pitch. First one off the left elbow. Seems to be okay. More annoyed than anything. But now a 2-out base runner for Clerno. who is the go-ahead run in the box.
Your catcher, Nick Clarno.
Clarno's been clutch so far this season. He's 1 for 1 today with 2 walks. And his one is a RBI bunt single in the first. Take strike one right down Broadway there from Wofford. Just waiting for his pitch. Wofford, 27 pitches, 16 strikes, including the first 2 there to Clarno. Looked maybe a little down and away, but called a strike. And Wofford's 1 strike away from getting through the top 4 in this Bear order. Bullpen ready. If Wofford gets in trouble, 1-2. A good one we've had here down the stretch in this series finale. Bears trying to sweep. Coker trying to steal one before they head home. 2-2. Clarno takes down and away. Wofford works quickly. High leverage situation here with the top of the order up. Pitches away. Full count. Still bouncing away from Castillo as Ginesta moves up. Tying run 180 feet away. Wofford will get a new baseball. Clarno's been clutch, not only this year, but last year as well. Trying to have another hit here. Ball 4. What an at-bat. It's down 0-2. Grabs his second walk of the night. And now a chance for Perino.
That brings up your first baseman, Anthony Perino.
4 straight balls thrown by Wofford after he was ahead of Clarno 0-2. And a big spot for Anthony Perino. Sac fly and an RBI earlier. Also has a single in this game. Nearly got hit by the pitch as it just missed his left knee. 5 straight balls now for Wofford. Number 15 Bears trying to fight their way back into this one. Haven't quite drawn even yet. Trying to here. Strike 1. Slider floats upstairs at the letters. 2 balls and a strike on Perino. Decent speed on the base pass. Ginesta at second, Clarno at first. Both good base runners as well. Perino can find the green. Up the middle, off the pitcher again. You're kidding me. That's the second time that's happened. Perino hits the ball hard up the middle. The pitcher knocks it down. We saw that happen to Ginesta a couple innings ago. Sometimes it's better to be lucky than good. Coker's certainly lucky there. 7-6 as we head to the final frame in Game 3 on the Bear Sports Network. Jackson Reed back out for a second inning of relief work, which is not super common with this Bear team, but struck out 2 out of the 3 men he faced in a perfect 6th inning. Facing Castillo, Leonard, and Melvin, if they continue to keep Melvin in after he pinch ran earlier in the game. But Brian Castillo, the catcher, digs in, trying to get some insurance for Coker. Wave and a miss for strike 1. Bears are down 7-2 in this game, trying to fight back. They've had a couple of unfortunate bounces go against them as 2 pitchers for Coker, Watkins earlier, caught a line drive out of the air off the bat of Ynesta, just basically spun right into it. And then Wofford just now against Perino on a ball that would have been up the middle, knocked it down and then threw to first. So those 2 balls get through. We're probably having a different conversation right now, but that is the name of the game here in baseball. What ifs don't matter. 1-2. Fouled off. Still 1-2. 18 pitches, 12 strikes for Jackson Reed. Continuing his really strong redshirt sophomore season. 1-2 again. Right side, through for a base hit. Coker's got now 10 hits in this game, and I would estimate 4 or 5 of them have been in that exact spot between first and second base. The Cobras have the leadoff man on here in the top of the 7th, the final inning of this 7-inning game. Castillo's aboard with his second hit. So they will send Melvin to the dish after he pinch ran and got thrown out at third base. After he pinch ran for Leonard, who was a pinch hitter himself. Ball 1. That one's on to 8th Avenue off the handle of Melvin. Ball and a strike. Narrowly missed the car driving away from Durham Field. Vitally important that this is just a 1-run game. When the Bears come up in the bottom of the 7th. Umpire tried to punch out Melvin there again, but it's 1-2. Once is cool, but the second time is a little concerning that the umpire doesn't ever know the count. It's the second time that's happened, and now I'm just concerned. Are we just guessing back there? That's actually strike 3. Jackson Reed's 3rd strikeout is the first out of the 7th. Ninth strikeout for Bear pitching tonight. Brings up Listing. Wave and a miss. Fastball down at his ankles that tailed in on the righty. Listing there for strike 1. 1 for 2. The walk. And this one for Corey. Quickly down 0-2 as Reed has found the zone with 2 straight. Cobras trying to move to 4-2 in sack play. Stealing this 3rd one of this series. The 0-2. Driven foul deep down the left field line and out of play by 70 feet, I'd say. There are people up and ready in the Bear bullpen if needed. This seems to be all the trust in Jackson Reed right now. The 0-2. Line drive. Leaped and caught by Atiles. Lewis almost snow-coned out of his glove, but he squeezes it. 2 outs. Pretty hard hit from Listing, but not scalded. And Atiles shows some good range there. And now Scudder with 2 outs, trying to get this runner moving. Strike 1 at the knees. Ground ball up the middle. Atiles to his left, steps on the bag, and the side is retired. So Jackson Reed does his job, pitches 2 shutout innings, and now the Bears have their last chance coming up, trying to tie or win, see if they can win their 17th straight and sweep Coker when you come back on the Bear Sports Network. Bears have some Durham magic in them. We'll see. 3 outs left. Down a run. 7-6 to Coker in the 7th and final inning of this one tonight. Wofford still out there. Laskowski, Collette, Bell. Wofford an inning and 2/3, giving up just the 1 hit, the 3-run home run to David Bell that brought this game to a 1-run deficit for the Bears. First pitch to Laskowski, ball 1. Of the 15-game home winning streak, the Bears have 2 walk-offs. The first one and the last one. Laskowski to center. Lighting going back. Looking up. We are tied. Laskowski hammers it. 7-7. What a time for your first career home run. I asked the question, is there some Durham magic? Apparently the answer is yes. Wow. What a time for number 1. Right back up the chute. And now the Bears can win it. Ball 1 to Collette. Bet you're glad you stuck around, aren't you, folks? This game was 7-2. Bears have scored 5 unanswered. 1 in the 4th, 3 in the 5th, and now 1 here to lead off the bottom of the 7th. Wow. Collette popped up right side. Vining coming in from right field. Can he get there? He sure can. In foul ground makes the grab. 1 gone.
Your right fielder, David Bell.
David Bell made it possible. That home run by Laskowski with a 3-run bomb in the 5th. See if he can get the rally started. Line drive, he sure can. Drops it over the third baseman's head for a base hit. Takes a wide turn and stops it first. And now Scott Metzler will pinch hit with the top of the order looming for the Bears. What a game tonight. We've been treated to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Now pinch hitting for your Bears.
Just felt like the way that the Bears have been swinging it tonight, they've had a ton of lineouts, hard hit balls right at people, that it was eventually going to happen. And it has in a big way. Home run for Bell, home run for Laskowski. And now the winning run is aboard. See if Metzler can get a signature moment himself. Ball 1. Looks like Spencer Floyd if this goes to extra innings for the Bears. Metzler 244 this season. 2-0. Touch off the plate. It's another thing that has allowed the Bears back into this thing is there's a ball coming down from the Coker bullpen. Cole Laskowski, first guy of the inning, second pitch of the inning to dead center. Ties this game at 7. Strike on the corner, 2-1 to Metzler. Energy is just palpable. What more could you want out of the opening weekend of conference play here at Durham Field? Maybe a little preview of some magic that's coming later this season for the Bears. 3-1 on Metzler. Coach Ram putting some signs on. Let's see if Bell is on the move here. Castillo's been easy to run on this year. Only thrown out 4 out of 24 runners. I'm not sure you want to make an out on the base pass, especially in a favorable count to Metzler with Wade Kuda on deck. Strike on the inner half, full count. Seven. Bottom of the 7th. Full count to Metzler. He got him on strikes. Scott is in disbelief down in the zone. That pitch has been called pretty consistently down in the zone, but at some point, pitches that are at people's shins can't be called strikes. But that's the end of the day for Wofford. Gives up the game-tying home run and will leave it to his bullpen mates to try to send this thing to extra innings. Kuda coming up. Wofford going out. Another Carolina West call to the bullpen for Coker. You know you don't want to go anywhere on the Bears Sports Network. True freshman Cooper Thomas is on in a tie ball game, facing Wade Kuda. He gets the call after Wofford gives up the game-tying home run to Laskowski here in the bottom of the 7th of this 7-inning game. First pitch to Kuda outside, ball 1. Thomas hasn't been used a whole lot. This is just his 6th appearance of the season. Pitched scoreless inning, earned the save against UVA Wise last weekend. 1-1. Kuda swings through it. Talk about a big spot for a freshman. Just Coker's second conference series, trying to steal one on the road against the number 15 team in the country that has come all the way back from a 7-2 deficit. The winning run on first base. Kuda trying to move him around. This one's towards the gap. That'll do just that. David Bell coming home. They're sending him. That is 17 in a row. Kuda the winner. The shirt is off. The shower is on. And the party is on at Durham Field. (8-7) the final. One of the great games you'll ever see.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's your final this evening. Lenoir-Rhyne Bears win 8-7 over Coker in the finale of this 3-game series. Your line score.
Just feels different this year.
For Lenoir-Rhyne, 8 runs on 7 hits, 2 errors. For Coker, 7 runs on 10 hits, no errors. Getting the win for your Bears.
You don't need a whole lot of words to describe what just happened right there. Down 7-2 after 3.5 innings in a 7-inning game where you got less time to come back. Bell the 3-run home run in the 5th. Laskowski ties it in the 7th. And Kuda having an All-American season. Adds another bullet point to the list so far this year. Coker fought hard, played really well in this last game of the series. But they walk home. Well, they don't walk home. They head home after the sweep from the Bears. 8-7 the final. Wasn't the Bears' prettiest game. But it's 17 in a row. Let's do it again on Tuesday. USC Aiken comes to town. I'll be here. Hope you are as well. See if we can bring some more Durham magic on to this 2022 season. Win number 20 for the Bears was maybe the most special one yet. How about it? For the rest of our Bears Sports Network crew, I'm Eric Bach. Saying so long for now from Durham Field. 8-7. What a game! Hope you enjoyed it as much as we did on the Bears Sports Network. All right, here we are on the Bear Sports Network with the man that knocked in the game-winning run, Wade Kuda. Game-winning double that gave the Bears an 8-7 walk-off victory over Coker. Tonight completes the sweep, 17 in a row, Wade. Just tell me about this moment right now.
Man, it's unbelievable. This team is really...
I'm sorry! He's a goal! He's a goal, that's it!
This team is really something special, man. We've had a lot of good big wins and not really been tested a lot, but this was a good test of who we are as a team, and we're firing all cylinders right now, man. This team's unbelievable.
And it took, you said it, I mean, the 3-run homer for David Bell in the 5th. Laskowski ties the game in the 7th, and the bullpen bared down late. I mean, it took a really big collective effort late to get this done, didn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, with this team, it's not if, it's when we're going to get going. And just took a little longer this time, but we're there. We're here.
Can you put 17 wins in a row into words?
I can't, and I hope I can't for the rest of the season keep us going.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
It's something that just doesn't happen very often in baseball. So
special team, man.
So moving forward, you guys are now 3-0 in the SAC. USC Aiken, a good team, comes in here Tuesday. How do you just keep it rolling? I mean, you don't really change anything, right?
Just keep the energy up. Just ride this wave. Keep going. Midweeks are a little slower start usually for us, but hopefully you can carry this energy into it.
Game-winning double for Wade Kuda. That was about as exciting as it gets here tonight. Wade, congrats,
awesome.
and thanks so much for your time, man.
Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
You too.
Go Bears.
The man that won it for the Bears, generous with his time tonight. Wade Kuda and the Bears are now 20-1 in 2022. Unbelievable. Actually signing off for now from Durham Field on the Bear Sports Network. For the rest of our crew, I'm Eric Bach. Good night.